The dream you're afraid to share is a dream you're afraid to live.
Has anybody here had a dream that woke you up in the middle of the night because it was so good? Ooh, one hand went up. Thank you so much. Has anybody here had the dream that was so good it woke you up in the middle of the night that you had to go back to sleep to get back into that dream? Okay, why did all the hands go up now? Because everybody has had that really good dream, haven't you? And the reason we like that dream, everybody, is because we want to live that dream. And that's what I get to talk to people about. I get to help them turn those dreams into reality.
Hello, my name is Frank Kitchen, the Mindset Master Chef. I work with organizations who want their people to break through mental barriers to cook up the professional dreams they hunger for.
How many people have been hungry for something that's not food, something, in your life that you want to live, right? And how many people here have ever been afraid to share it with people? Why are we afraid to share it? People may not like it. Anybody else? They might judge you. Anyone else? They tell you you're crazy, right? So we listen to these people, don't we? But the case is, if you look at the screen right there, it goes, if you're afraid to share your dream, you're afraid to live it.
All of my programs are customized to meet your wants and needs as an in-person, virtual, or hybrid experience. My goal is to provide you and your team with an interactive learning experience that will challenge participants to transform their professional aspirations into 5-star masterpieces.
I want to see what those dreams are because I've challenged people to do this all around the country because the person most responsible for you living your dreams looks at you in the mirror every day.
I will do everything possible to make your next event a success, including recording a pre-event marketing video to stimulate attendance and participation. I am in Phoenix, Arizona, and I was actually born in Germany. A lot of people will always ask me where am I from. My family was in the U.S. Army in the military, so I was born in a place called Bad Kreuznach, West Germany. So I was born in a country that no longer exists. And because of my military background with my family, I've lived now in about 14 different areas. So many times when people ask me where I'm from, my answer is where do I live? And currently I live in Phoenix, Arizona. I am a professional speaker. People will call me a motivational speaker. I call myself the fresh mindset expert, which means I work with people on how to create a solution-based mindset. What made me decide to become a motivational speaker is actually my students. I was working at a college outside of Cleveland, Ohio, and we always brought in speakers. And many times when the speakers didn't show up, I would have to fill in and speak also. And my students came up to me, one of my students, and he came up to me and he goes, Frank, you challenge us to live our dreams. What are you doing to live yours? So my students are the ones who actually challenged me to leave my college career to become a motivational speaker. The Fresh Mindset Expert. Yes, I am called the Fresh Mindset Expert. Quite simply, this name or title explains what I do. It's more than just saying you're a motivational speaker. What happens is you need to let people know, what is the problem that you solve or solution that you provide. So for me, I always will tell people to live fresh. And when you're living fresh, you're not talking about what you're going to do, you're going to live it. And it's all a mindset. What obstacles have I faced when creating Frank Kitchen Enterprises? So yes, my business is called Frank Kitchen Enterprises. It's been officially a full-time business since 2015. And the biggest struggle was I knew the art of speaking, but I didn't know the business of speaking. And I had to educate myself that way because I knew how to jump on stage and speak and work with people, but I didn't really understand the proper ways to get on stages to speak with people. So for anybody who wants to go into the speaking business, I explain to people you want to become a professional speaker, not a speaker, because a speaker focuses on how to have the best speech. A professional speaker works on how to give a good speech, but how to give that speech in different places or on different stages, so they're focused on the whole picture. What is my main vision or goal for pursuing being a professional speaker? Quite simply, I want to take care of my family and I want to leave a positive impact on all the lives that I touch. I love to work with people. I love to travel, so professional speaking allows me to do that. So I get a chance to travel around. I get to meet new people, and more importantly, I get to help people live their personal professional dreams. So for me, my big dream is to take care of my family. I've got my wife Kelly and my 2 kids, Elijah and Olivia, so my speaking allows me to take care of them. But at the same point, when I speak or work with people, I allow them to transform the dream or vision in their head into reality. So I get to help people, I get to help my family. What are some of your childhood family experiences? Okay. For me, once again, I said I grew up in the military. I'm a military brat, so early on we bounced around the world. So 4 or 5 of my first years were spent outside the country. So I was born in Germany, came back to the States, and then we moved to Japan. So I've got some experiences just being in different cultures, and that's really good. And then I just remember for me, family is spread out. My parents got divorced. but family got spread out, so we always had to travel around to see the family. So that really sparked my interest in traveling, because with family spread out all over the country, we're driving or going to someplace new just to see people. So I love exploring and seeing new places. As a child, what was the biggest issue that I faced? Biggest issue I faced as a child growing up was just moving constantly. It was tough for me to meet or really build long relationships, because usually about every 3 to 4 years we were moving. So you would get a really good close friend, and then you would move, and then you have to start that piece over. So for a lot of my childhood, I was a very quiet and shy person, because I struggled trying to connect with people, because like as soon as you would connect with those people, then you're moving on to a new place, and then you have to start all over again. So I usually kept very much to myself, and that was what I struggled with growing up. As an adult, what is the biggest issue I am faced with? The biggest issue I'm faced with is with my wife. We're trying to get our kids to listen to us. We've got 2 kids, a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old. And as great as kids as they are, just trying to get them to listen. So I'm a motivational speaker. My wife helps own our company. She's a consultant and a teacher. So we got a teacher and a motivational speaker. And we're still working to get our kids to just listen to us and follow, I don't want to say follow our directions, but we know, have an idea of where we want them to succeed in life. And just trying to point them in that direction can be a little difficult sometimes, because we want the best for them. Okay, those kids. Yeah, what do I do to keep my kids mentally and physically healthy? Well, what we like to do is we like to get them outside. We're a big outdoors family, so we love to go hiking. We love to go exploring. If it's got dirt, rocks, or water, our kids really like that. So for us, the big piece is we want them to be experiential learners. So we're always trying to put them in a new situation. We don't try to focus too much. Do they watch TV and Netflix and Disney Plus? Yes. But we like to get a chance to take them to museums and parks, to see other entrepreneurs, people who are running businesses. So they've got friends who are magicians and performers. So the big piece for us is just to expose them to as much as possible to keep them mentally and physically healthy. The greatest issue facing youth today that I've learned from the groups I'm speaking with, the greatest issues that I've seen recently is just building relationships. We have all this technology, and most of the youth now are called digital natives, so they've grown up with technology, and for many of them they build relationships online, but they have a difficult time building close relationships in person. So many of the groups I talk to, they want to come and talk to me, and they want to build a relationship in person. So I always make it opportunity for people I'll give them my email, my phone number, and let them reach out to me, because you know what, I understand that people want that relationship, and they want somebody in their life to show that they care. And that's the big one for everybody. We all want somebody to show that they care. Has anybody around me had to deal with or had issues with mental health? Yeah, there are several people, friends and family, that I have been around, and I've also offered my hand to help out with. I don't want to say any names here during this interview, but the biggest case for the people who have actually, I don't want to say conquered, but have actually worked their way through these issues, and they're constantly battling these issues, are to have a great support group. You need to have people around you, not people who are just going to say yes or take advantage of you. You want people who are going to challenge you and push you in the right direction, push you in a direction where they know that you can succeed. So the big piece is for anybody, when you're having any type of, quote, mental issue, depression, not feeling confident in yourself, not thinking that you can do things, is not to keep it inside. You need to have a support group you can go and talk to, who can help you out and point you in the right direction to find the services or the people or the nonprofits, the organizations, someone who can help you be the best you possible. Popular speech that I currently have that people really resonate with is called I Live Fresh. And when we say I Live Fresh, the whole purpose of the speech is I ask the audience, are they committed to using their time, talent, teams, and treasures to live their dream while helping others live their? And the reason it really resonates with everybody is we all have a big dream. In order to live that dream, we have to have the proper mindset, a solution-based mindset, to put all the work and time and dedication to living that dream. But at the same point, it's not just about you, it's about helping others. So how can your dream be used to help others? So for me as a speaker, my big dream is to take care of my family. That's my dream. But in order to help others, I use my knowledge, my experiences, my recipes to share with people to help them transform their dream to reality. So that's my biggest one right now, and people just love to live fresh. Tell us about a speaking event that didn't go as planned. I can't say that any speech ever goes as planned, positive or negative, because every audience is unique and different. But one of the most unique ones I had was I was speaking for a group in Utah, and I didn't really understand it until I came off a stage, but I'm doing my speech and I know that, quote, I am killing it. But half the audience is clapping and cheering and having a great time, and the other half of the audience has this very serious look, and people are sitting on their hands, and I'm wondering what is going on, and I'm starting to doubt myself. I'm like, am I doing the right thing? Have I offended anybody? And then when the speech is over, people are clapping, and one group's still kind of quiet. Once I step off a stage, the person who's running the event comes and talks to me and says, Frank, if you don't know, here we're a very polite audience. People don't actually clap and cheer during the program. What they'll do is they'll come and tell you thank you afterwards. Afterwards, all the people who were very quiet actually came up, and we actually had about 45 minutes, an hour of people coming to take pictures, wanting to talk to me, because that's how they showed their signs of appreciation. So we can never really judge a group just by certain reactions. We have to have an understanding that some groups may be just a little bit more polite. So that was one that went unexpected from what I was expecting when I was on stage. What I've learned for this journey is that you have to constantly work to get better. You always have to be your best. It's not about being perfect, it's about working to be your best. So my best 14 years ago when I first started is not my best today. And what I'm doing today is going to be better years from now. So we're always working to get better, which means learning new technology, meeting new people, trying new speeches, trying to add new material, to always adapt. You don't want to stay in the same spot. You always want to find ways to grow personally and professionally. How hard is it to get caught up with the competition of other speakers? Early on when you start to look to see what everybody else is doing, but you have to recognize as a motivational speaker, if you have a business and a work, is once again, you have to be the best you. And right now I don't really focus too much on what other speakers are doing, but I know what I can learn from them. Essentially, they're not really competition because people are always looking for something special. So I focus more on what can make me unique and stand out from the crowd. So I'll just kind of study to see what the crowd is doing, and I try to do something different. So I don't worry too much about it or stress. I have enough to stress about with my family and my life. So I focus on what I can do to provide the best quality marketing, speaking, connection points that help me stand out from the crowd. So that's what I focus on. What is my biggest inspiration, and what do I do to implement in my life? My biggest inspiration will be just, my mom. I always will tell people that when you hear people on stage, and from her is just, as far as being either a single mom at certain points, coming up out of the South, not really having her college education until she got into her 50s. That's just a big inspiration for me, and how I implement that on a day-to-day basis is just going, you know what, if she can do it, I can do it. So I don't think about anything being, quote, too hard. Just means that the challenge is there, and if you really want something, the harder it is, then the bigger the reward is. So speaking is not an easy game. Traveling, being away from your family, having people judge, how good or bad that you are. And the case is like, that's just a challenge. And the challenge is, I want to be able to take care of my family. I want to have a good time. I want to help people, and I'm going to push through. And that's what I've learned, is to just keep pushing through no matter how tough the times are. If I could change one thing about today's world, what would it be? I would change the negativity. We focus so much on looking for the negativity, pointing it out, that I would change that one. Because whether it be social media, media in person, we're really quick to just point out what people can't do. We're quick to point out the negative, and I like for people to focus on what we can do, the positive, because there's plenty of negative out there, but there's also plenty of positive. And as my one friend said, Frank, there's plenty of negativity in the world, but he goes, there's a lot of positivity too. He's like, we have to make time to look for it and to share it. So if I could change the world, I would ask people to share more of the positives to inspire people versus the negatives, which push people down. Is there ever an event where I didn't feel like my message wasn't resonating with the audience? Yeah, that happens when you jump on stage. There's certain points where people are quiet and they don't respond to you, and you have to figure out, what is going on. So I can say even like the biggest one for where things aren't resonating, years ago, going through college, coming out of high school, I used to do kids' birthday parties, and having little kids just kind of stare at you with a deer in headlights look really can get you wondering, like, is this going good? But for me, in those cases, when it wasn't resonating at first, you realize, hey, they're just still trying to pick up and keep up with you. And then you have to wait until afterwards to get a response or reaction, or even ask questions. And for me, many times when I was doing these kids' birthday parties, that's kind of how I got into all this. Was I get one kid's party, and the next thing you know, all the other kids in those parties, I would get their parties weeks later. So many times it's not going to be an instant gratification piece. You have to look at the long term and see what happens. How has motivational speaking changed in the last 5 years? Well, here's how it's changed. Essentially is you don't want to call yourself a motivational speaker. You want to call yourself a content expert. So my expertise is on mindset and leadership, but I deliver the message in a motivational way. So the big one for motivational speaking over the last few years is people don't want to hear about theory of what you're talking about. They want to hear how you're living and what you've done. So they want to actually know you've actually done it, because we can go jump onto the internet and look up, different information. So people want to know your story, and they want to know how your story you've been using that story to transform your life or the lives of others. So the case is, don't be a motivational speaker, be a content expert who delivers your message in a motivational way. Out of all your life experience, what's the biggest thing I'd want people to know? The biggest thing I like people to know is stop trying to be other people. You have to be the best you. It's hard enough being ourselves, but we're in this world that is quick to judge and tries to tell us that we need to be like other people. And that can cause, as we're doing this piece, that can cause a lot of, mental, physical, and social issues because we're trying so hard to be someone else. So the big piece I've learned is just be the best you. Where do you want to go? What do you want to be? Stop listening to all the haters and the doubters who are saying, oh, you've got to be doing this and doing that. Try to find the people who truly love and care about you, who are willing to pull the best out of you. They're not looking to change you, they're looking to pull the best out of you so you can actually live the life that you want to live. So that's what my advice is for all this craziness going on in the world. Ooh, rapid fire. Let's go with these really quick and let's see. Describe yourself in one word. Fresh. Number 2, if you had to publish a book, what would the title be? I've published 4 books, so you can go look at the titles right now, but the fun one is Fresh from the Kitchen. Who is your superhero? My superhero are kids. I love seeing kids because guess what? Kids never take no for an answer. They're easy to adapt and they always transform whatever it is in their head into reality. So kids are my superhero. I prefer, depends on the day, but I'm probably more of a savory foods person. I like the salty stuff. My guilty pleasure is probably popcorn. So like having some popcorn at night is a good one for me. So I'm a popcorn lover, but every now and then you do need the sweets. Sing a couple of lines from your favorite song. A couple lines from my favorite song. Let's see. We can go ahead and we'll just do one. Let's go. I'm not a singer. Just let everybody know right now. I'm not a singer, but I like to have fun. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. Ooh. I'm asking him to make a change. Ooh. Okay, I embarrassed myself on that one. Let's go to the next one. How do you start your day? I start my day with drinking some water. So that's when I've got a daily routine. I like to call it meal prep. My last name is Kitchen. So when you get ready for any meal or prepare a menu, you start to review what you need to do. So for me, it's usually wake up, do some stretching, drink my water, read a little bit. Work to avoid my phone and email for about 30 minutes to an hour. I want to focus on me. So do some stretching, some exercising, review my goals for the day, say a quick prayer, review my affirmation, and then my day's ready to go. So I start the day off by doing something for me first. What was the color of your high school prom bow tie? Okay, my prom, my bow tie was red. Our school colors were garnet and white, which is more like a burgundy, but I had a bright red bow tie. Are you a morning or night person? I am a morning person, so I'm that crazy person who wakes up early. So whether it be back in high school or even like in college or even now today, I wake up early. So I'm generally up by about 4:45, 5 o'clock in the morning. Start my day. I'm in Arizona, so the sun is up at 5 a.m. So we're always kind of early. So I like to get my day started quickly and get all my work done as quickly as possible so I can have more fun later at night. Favorite hobby? Favorite hobby right now most likely would be, I love sports, but just getting out to hiking. I like nature, so I live in Arizona, a lot of mountains, so lately it's just been doing a lot of hiking. What is your worst habit? I'm gonna get knocked on this one, but gotta be honest on here. So my worst habit is picking my nose. I'm like, I shouldn't be doing that one, so work on that one hard. I'm always carrying a handkerchief with me, but picking my nose would have to be my worst habit. How many diapers have you changed? I've changed a ton of diapers. I've got 2 kids, plus I've got a younger brother who's about 14, 15 years younger. Mom used to work at a preschool, so I've changed more diapers than probably anybody should have to, or whatever. So I am an excellent diaper changer and have changed like the diapers. And once our kids got out of diapers, it was very good to be done with that one. So changed lots of diapers. What is your guilty pleasure? Guilty pleasure, as I was saying earlier, is popcorn. That's my deal. I like to, have some popcorn, or you can say guilty pleasure also is when I travel. Guilty pleasure is, because I got kids and they control the TV. Another guilty pleasure is watching movies on airplanes. They always have like some of the movies on the planes I couldn't catch at the theater, so catching up on movies while I fly around the country is one of my guilty pleasures. What was your worst class in high school? Worst class in high school. My worst class in high school would have been, that is actually a good question. I'm trying to think my worst class would have been, maybe we can say English. I didn't like writing papers. So writing papers and doing stuff like that. So English and trying to memorize all that stuff just wasn't good, especially when we had to do like stuff like Shakespeare. So I would say my worst class in high school was, okay, never have I ever. Let's go ahead and do this one. Failed a test in high school. I have failed a test in high school. Cried during school. Can't say I've cried during school. I lied to my parents. I have done that. Shouldn't have done that one. Got caught sneaking out. Nope, that has never happened to me. And broken a bone. I have broken my nose when I was a little kid. I fell out of a swing and broke my nose. I was swinging on my belly. Shouldn't have been doing that one, so I broke my nose. But